I'm Brian Fisher, and I'm the manager of the Media Relations Division of the Prince George's County Police Department. April is Autism Acceptance and Awareness Month, and the Prince George's County Police Department is so very pleased and proud to welcome the Hussman Institute for Autism to headquarters this morning. Remember, as April ends, autism does not. Our goal is to remind everybody that autism and autism acceptance is every day. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce our Chief of the Prince George's County Police Department, Malik Aziz.
Good morning and welcome. April is Autism Awareness Month. Autism Awareness Month is an important time to increase understanding and acceptance of autism in our communities here in Prince George's County. It is an opportunity to celebrate the unique strengths and abilities of individuals on the autism spectrum and promote awareness of the challenges of autistic children may face during an interaction with police officers under what could be difficult circumstances. The Prince George's County Police Department would like to thank the Hussman Institute for the contribution of 500 sensory kits to assist our officers in comforting children with autism during what could be a difficult circumstance. According to the CDC, 1 in 36 children have been identified with autism spectrum disorder. While emergency situations can produce anxiety for anyone, many individuals with autism have strong reactions to their environments, including sensory inputs such as noise, lights, and even physical touch. Some people with autism may be non-speaking or limited in their ability to communicate. A consistent routine for an autistic child is always best, but life sometimes brings sudden, unexpected changes and events, and that alone to an autistic child can be very distressing and upsetting. Helping our officers understand the unique needs of autistic children and providing these sensory kits can help create a more supportive interaction under traumatic circumstances. This kit includes written guidance on how to assist people with autism in critical situations. It also includes several helpful tools like a writing board, calming headphones, sunglasses, and a plush toy to relieve stress. I want to once again thank the Hussman Institute for your partnership and your support. I'd like to also introduce Dr. John Hussman, Executive Director of the Hussman Institute.
This is my wife, Terry, as well. For all of us, some of the greatest gifts that others can offer are to listen, to understand, and to support us in ways that we truly need. People with autism need those same things, but that's sometimes a challenge because autism can affect communication, social interaction, sensory processing, and behavior. Those differences can range from mild to significant. Communication can be limited or absent. People can respond differently to social cues. Behavior can include a strong need to complete certain activities or routines, and breaking those routines can sometimes lead to sudden and very real panic. Those limited communication abilities and insistence on routine can sometimes even look like non-compliance. In emergency situations, the ability to understand and support those differences can be critical. Offering reassurance, communication supports, sensory accommodations, and the patience to de-escalate can be enormously helpful. The good news is that it's often possible to provide effective support with modest tools and simple approaches. The Hussman Institute for Autism is pleased to make this donation of 500 autism support kits in recognition of the ongoing and greatly appreciated collaboration between law enforcement and the autism community. These kits are meant to assist officers and crisis intervention teams in situations involving people with autism and related disabilities. We know they're being used across the country in myriad ways to de-escalate situations, to support communication, and to provide comfort. Last week, we received word from a law enforcement partner in Washington, D.C. He shared this: "We didn't know what we needed until they were there." When we bring these sensory kits into the fold by CIT officers, for the child who can't communicate, stress and anxiety dramatically minimize. Parents see their child calmer, and they connect with officers. The success we've had with the sensory bags has been absolutely incredible. You don't know when or if you're going to need something like this, but when you have it, it makes a huge difference. It completely changes the dynamic and energy. Beth Benavides is our Director of Outreach and has been active at the local, state, and national levels in law enforcement training and curricular development involving individuals with autism and developmental disabilities. She helps in our police training efforts, and she'll share a bit more about these kits. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Chief Aziz, as an active member of the disability community, I'm very pleased to have been part of this particular project. My son Kyle, who's here in the back and who's also pictured along Dr. Hussman's son JP on the table and putting these kits together, has been in crisis. We've had the police called to our home, and we know firsthand the importance of an officer responding with understanding and compassion. I've also been involved in calls from police as young children go wandering or missing from home, or perhaps a passerby or an officer finds a child or an adult. And they call for assistance, and together we put our heads together to say, have you tried this? Have you tried a communication board? Have you found some way to communicate with that person? And every time I'm always pleased to know that they say, yes, 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 we have tried these things because they've been trained. Whether it's our training from the Hussman Institute for Autism or others that are on intellectual and developmental disabilities, we know that if the officers are bringing calm to the situation, the rest of us can solve the clues of who these children are and where they belong. They can also help when a person with autism is in a home or car and there's been an unrelated incident. Keeping that person calm, communicating with them, offering reassurance, all those things can prevent things from escalating elsewhere. Our mission at the Hussman Institute for Autism is simply to improve the everyday lives of people with autism. And these kits are one way to do that. They're a way to ensure that people in our community, such as police officers, have the tools, resources, and information they need to support. As mentioned earlier, while emergencies can produce anxiety for anyone, many individuals with autism have strong reactions to their environments. Some people with autism may be non-speaking or limited in their ability to communicate, and still others may be escalated or restless when their routines are broken. So in addition to the guidance documents that we've put in these kits on how to assist people with autism in emergency situations, the kits include items that can increase critical communication and provide comfort. Okay, so we are going to go over here to the table now and go over the things that are in the kits so that everyone will know firsthand what is in here. While many of the communication resources in the kit are particularly useful for people who are non-speaking, we know that in times of crisis, many of us lose the ability to speak, or we prefer not to. And so these communication supports can be helpful for just about anyone. Sometimes speaking can be very difficult in stressful situations. So if an officer asks a person with autism a question and they don't answer, that might be a good time to take out some of these communication tools to try to help along that interaction. We have an Autism Tips for First Responders card, which just includes general information for officers for ever so often to just review. That's in every one of these kits. The identification information card includes symbols and words such as name, phone number, address, or ID card. And again, they might just be a visual to support when an officer asks, what's your name? Who are you? We also have I need statement cards. So we have this card here, and it has pictures for help, food, water, bathroom, break, or stop. And again, this just could open a conversation between a police officer and that person in need to figure out if there's anything that they need in that moment. We have I feel cards with different pictures of how someone might feel. And again, one of the simplest things an officer can ask someone is, how are you? What do you need? How do you feel? How can I help? And these communication starters might lead to that, to those clues. One thing that we have in here as well is a sentence starter for the officers. Sometimes we know, what do we say? How should I even start? And the very first thing that you can start with is, I'm here to help. And so we include this card for the officers so that they know how to start sentences, so that they know what to ask to offer first or then, and what a person might need.
Let me add something there. For anyone with autism, especially in a crisis situation, the word yes is often a game changer because basically you don't have to say, yes, you can have X, or yes, you can do X, but to say yes, yes, and to hear yes immediately takes the energy down because it says, yes, I'm here to help. And you can just say that, yes, I understand you're stressed. Yes, I know. And that word alone can really do quite a bit. So even though these things are very simple, sharing those tools and those strategies with the officers can be very helpful in de-escalating situations that might not otherwise de-escalate.
Yep. And then, of course, very important here is the letter board. So often when a person can't communicate, they may be more comfortable typing to communicate. Sometimes the officers will offer their computers to see if someone could type their name. But this letter board is in there as a simple way. It's best if it is laid flat so that the person can push to it and point to it. What's most important that officers really pay attention and look closely at what is being spelled. And then they can just repeat back what they've seen. Okay, so then in addition to that, we've included sensory items. And these items are really to help in those situations where people may be overwhelmed by the environment. So we have headphones here. These are noise-canceling headphones. So whether a person is oversensitive to sirens or loud noises or crowds, these noise-canceling headphones can be very helpful. And they really can just offer a safer space for someone if they just kind of want to block out everything that's going on. And the same is true for sunglasses. If an officer notices someone blinking or covering their eyes with their hands or not having eye contact, that's okay. Offering them sunglasses, again, as a way to kind of create that safe space, that little bit of a barrier between them and the situation can be incredibly helpful. In addition to that, we have a liquid bubbler, and there's no rhyme or reason as to why these things may be preferences for people, but they're calming, and just the motion of the liquid is very calming for some. They can be shaked, they can be, turned upside down. They can also be used as a timer, and so they're in there. We have push pops fidgets. And again, lots of people enjoy these as a way of calming and relieving stress. But when people with autism or anyone is kind of reaching for something they shouldn't be, perhaps scratching or pinching, this is a nice alternate to offer them. So something else to put into their hands to keep their hands busy. And while they're waiting. And then, of course, we have a stress ball, which we all love. And officers can use that to help someone with deep breathing, to really just feel grounded in the moment. The stress balls are in there for whoever in the situation might need it. And last but not least is our plush toy. So we have a plush stuffed animal in every kit. And really, this is here just to provide comfort. So someone may like to squeeze it for the deep pressure that it gives them or that sense of grounding. But others might just want it for comfort, to feel safer. They may talk to it. They may talk with it. And that's there for their comfort. So all of these items here, I wanted to include as well that we do have a dry erase card and a marker in every kit. And these can be really helpful to draw, to connect with someone, to offer to someone to write, or to write 1, 2, 3. These are the things that are going to happen first, second, and third, and then to kind of erase as you go along.
Yeah, there's in terms of the way that people with autism can sometimes process things, we know that people with autism often use their what's called a occipital lobe, their visual centers, when even interpreting speech. And so providing visuals can sometimes help even when a verbal instruction might not be enough. So literally taking that whiteboard and drawing something, or drawing first this, then this, giving that extra visual support can be extremely important in crossing that barrier to getting someone to understand what's going on or to make a choice. So even these very simple tools can be used by the officers to help move things along.
So again, thank you, Chief Aziz. We are so pleased to have this partnership and to make these available to your officers, and hope for good, positive relations.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. Yes, indeed.
Are there any questions from the press? We thank you so very, yes, ma'am.
Yes, how often, is Prince George, I guess this is for Chief Aziz, how often are your officers encountering residents with autism, particularly those who are nonverbal?
We make a lot of traffic stops, and we have a lot of engagements outside of that. So much to this point, over the last few years, we've expanded our training inside of our police academy to include how to act, how to have a procedure. We did a before the badge event where our young cadets came out in the community. We had a partnership. Some of the participants had autism, and it was breaking down the barriers of what may happen during a traffic stop. So it was beneficial to the officer, it was beneficial to the community, and it was especially beneficial to parents or relatives who had been impacted by that. And so it taught all of us everything. So to answer that question, it's so many times, it's numerous encounters, and you don't know what you don't know. That's what's the important thing about today. What I heard Dr. Hussman and Beth just talk about. See, now this is breaking down barriers, and any tool you can give to break down a barrier, it wouldn't matter if it was 1 or 1 million that we help somebody. So one person, to me, is a lot. It's huge. This right here is gigantic for us in teaching. It's a teachable moment. These are learning moments. And most of all, we enter the police service to be public servants. And this offers that servitude to the community who is impacted. And we want to play a role in that. And we're going to make sure we play a positive role in that.
And these sensory kits, they'll be with officers who are out on the street.
Yeah, we'll make sure they are protected. They will have access to them because we don't want to destroy them. We do a lot of things in a day-to-day operational, but they're going to be readily available to those officers when they come across a child in need or a person in need.
They'll be like in a SWAT car with a patrol officer? Or
Yes,
you have to
they're
call
going
somebody else to get them?
both. That'll be a combination of both things. It depends on what type of patrol car and how we can protect it. This is a very valuable kit. It's just as valuable as any tool that we have. So we're going to make sure that they are protected. And if that's in the car, in certain situations, so they can be readily accessible, or if it's in one of our divisions spread out throughout the county, that they're going to be readily accessible.
How did this partnership come about?
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about our work with police
So the Hussman Institute for Autism has long been involved in everything public safety related. So law enforcement training is really what we started in. We put the curriculum together, supported Maryland Department of Disabilities in their curriculum on intellectual and developmental disabilities. And we wanted to just go one step further. So we have been involved in many things that bridge that public and police kind of gap that exists sometimes. And we thought this could be one way to just bring, a tool, resources right to the officer. So it's one thing to have knowledge and training. It's another in an emergency situation to really be able to pull out this whole kit and have things at your fingertips. So that's how that came apart. We have donated these kits. They kind of took off like wildfire the first time that we donated them to see, hey, would police agencies really like these kits? And what we found was that police agencies across the country, as they heard about them, they really like them. And so we have been busy putting them together and sending them out. We donate them to police agencies. Again, it is our mission to improve the everyday lives of people with autism, and this is just one way that we can do it.
And I'll add, first of all, the kits are put together by people with autism. Kyle, Beth's son, and JP, my son, are involved in that. But also, in terms of getting this started, there have been, efforts by the governor in terms of getting Governor O'Malley started, and we talked with him. Beth is on a commission that was established several years ago, and we've tried to really improve the level of resources that police departments have in terms of understanding people with autism, because there are lots of challenges, and the same is true in the school system. We've got training that we established with the cooperation of the Maryland State Department of Education to train paraprofessionals in how to work with individuals with autism, how to provide positive behavior supports, because that positive behavior support, understanding that a behavior to a person who doesn't speak is their word. And if you can't understand that word, and you can't say, all right, not why is this person doing this, but why is this person doing this, and find a way to meet that need in a better way, then you've lost that opportunity, and you can actually have a situation that becomes more stressful rather than less. And so a lot of the tools that we try to provide for the community are geared toward providing positive support, providing communication support, providing sensory support, really getting the community to understand at all levels, law enforcement, education, just, neighbors, people that a person with autism would come in contact with, how to understand those behaviors, how to understand those needs, and how to respond.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Can we just get them to say and spell their names for us?
Sure.
Titles, just so we have on tape.
Go ahead. Oh, go ahead. I think they know me.
All right.
They wasn't talking to me.
John Hussman, Huss as in Sam, MAN. My wife Terry is Terri Hussman, Hussman. And this is, do you want Beth or Elizabeth?
Yeah, Beth is fine.
Yeah.
Beth, Beth, Benevides, Benevides, and I'm Director of Outreach at the Hussman Institute.
Is it John with an H or?
Yes, John, J-O-H. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
And thank you,
Everyone.
everyone.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Much.
Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you.